granniopteryx, granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Okay, I just want to paint a picture. I can't show you the videos. I just saw a video. I have to be careful about my language, okay? I have to code this. So please just think about what I'm saying. Lying on the ground. There were lots of people desperately pumping chests, trying to bring life back into obviously lost causes. It was just scattered. They looked like, those... Okay, let's imagine, you see those pictures of seals lying on a beach. Well, that's what it looked like, except those seals were human beings, and over them were police and bystanders desperately trying to save them. Some of them, they'd given up. There was just some sort of a covering over their heads. And this person was walking among this scene of mayhem. There are now, as far as I've got so far, 16 who are no longer with us, including one who shouldn't have been with us in the first place, I think. But there will be more from what I could see of all of that. And it would take a special sort of fanaticism to put that, to your shoulder, look down the scope and just send a projectile towards a child, an old person, somebody there in a bathing suit. Somebody's just sitting there with his family, t-shirt and shorts. Think of what it would take to do that again and again and again, squeezing that. And that's what I saw in that video, the aftermath of this. And then you get this person here. First of all, we say the hero who single-handedly disarmed the attacker at Bondi Beach is a 43-year-old Muslim named Ahmed Al-Ahmed. One of the comments under my video about this was, no, he's not a Muslim, he's a Maronite Christian. No, I'm pretty sure he's a Muslim. There are very few Maronites called Ahmed. There is one famous one in history, but not that many. And he spelt his name Ahmad, not Ahmed. So no, I'm quite happy to understand that this is a Muslim. And he was very brave. His act of bravery saved countless lives. No, it didn't, I'm afraid. What happened was he wrested the gun away from the killer. The killer ran away. He was ineffectively holding the gun pointing towards him. Now, there's two possibilities here. One is that he didn't want to shoot a fellow Muslim and he said, look, just go home, go away. He could have done that. And the other, and I think more likely story, is that he didn't know how to fire the gun. Well, two things. The first is that in a disarmed society, which is what Australia is, people don't know much about guns, but they are very reluctant to shoot other people because that's drilled into you. You just don't shoot people. So that could be the first thing. He just didn't want to shoot. And the second thing, a possibility, is that he didn't know how to shoot. That wasn't really a simple rifle. Actually, shooting it might have been a bit more complicated than he was aware of it. And he'd certainly never held a gun before, by the looks of things. So he let the killer go. And the killer went back to his dad, picked up another gun and started shooting again. So he didn't save countless lives. I don't blame him for that. His act of bravery is enough, as far as I'm concerned, to qualify him as a brave and honourable man. All right? So that's that. But don't big up what he did. He put his life on the line trying to get the gun from that guy. That's enough. All right, and then the next one, who couldn't resist. This Dunning-Kruger guy here, climate warrior, who says he's fighting for climate and gender justice. Yeah, like anyone who fights for the supremacy of Islam is fighting for gender justice. Oh yeah, and climate justice? Tehran is one of the most polluted cities in the world, and the Iranian government have destroyed the water table. That's not exactly climate justice. And you'll find that sort of profligacy and lack of concern for the climate throughout the Muslim world, I'm afraid. OK, but anyway, so this climate warrior chap says the person who stopped one of the Muslim shooters was also Muslim. What do you say now, racists? Racists, anyone he doesn't like. What is racist about thinking there's a problem with Islam? It's an ideology. It's not a race. That's what the Muslims all say. Islam is for all, for the whole world. We have to have a worldwide caliphate because Islam is for all races and all people. Yeah, so what's racist about saying the shooter was a Muslim? He was a Muslim. He was, as his mother said, a good boy. And he was, by a lot of ISIS-type standards, a very good boy. Now, I'm going to talk to this fellow here in words of one syllable, and it still might not be enough for him, but let's give it a try. Let's bring this down to what my father would have called apples and oranges. Let's talk about driving along roads. I've used roads analogy before, so this is quite comfortable for me. Look, when you're driving along a road with a lot of other drivers, some of them won't be as good as others. But, you know, if conditions are reasonable, everybody will be going ahead very nicely. And then it starts to rain. And at that point, some of the worst drivers will cause or have accidents. Now, it doesn't take any sort of a statistician to understand that when driving conditions are bad, you are going to have more accidents on the road. We can all acknowledge this. And this is what's happening in the West now. The conditions are bad. They are enabling fanatical Muslims to do the sort of thing that shooter and his father did. And we have to acknowledge that. There's nothing racist about that. You're just seeing the conditions and realising that these conditions are going to result in an increased number of accidents. I wouldn't call this exactly an accident, but you know what I mean, don't you? At least I hope you do. It's not racist to say that. It's only racist to say that when you have this idea that whatever argument you are making, you have to see it through a racial filter. And unfortunately, that's what this climate warrior is doing. There are some people who are unable to see an argument without first ascertaining who is making the argument. This guy here, he's a hero. It doesn't matter to me what race or religion he had, he's a hero. I see him for what he did, not for what he is. This guy cannot see anything without first working out what they are before you give them any kudos for what they do. Now, the fact that he was a Muslim gives him more kudos than if he'd have been, I don't know what, one of the Jewish people at the party. They would probably not have been, he'd have probably said he was being aggressive. I don't know, I'm just being facetious there. Right, well, yeah. That's my take on this particular incident of what had happened. Just think wet, rainy roads. The conditions are there for increased accidents, and what the police would do is say, slow down. There'll be all these signs over the motorway saying something like slippery conditions, slow down. Well, that's what the government should be doing with Islamists now and Islam generally in their countries. Acknowledging that conditions are conducive to accidents and that we have to take measures to stop those accidents from happening by telling people, by warning people, and by giving them good advice. Okay? Right. That's it. Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.